We need to get to a place that we literally don't see something being destroyed as bad. That something not working out the way that we thought as like, ugh. We actually need to see sometimes the gift of destruction. We're going to talk about it. But before we do, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to this channel, and then we're going to dissect that, okay? All right, go. Go. When's the last time something didn't go according to your plan that you celebrated? When's the last time that you had something in mind and thought that it was going to remain and be consistent and continuing to thrive in that way, and it didn't, and you were like, thank you, God. I think I see the lesson in that. I think that's the problem right there. Most of us don't see the lesson in the L. So we're not grateful for the loss. We don't have gratitude. There's nothing about it that says, oh, thank God. You know what? I can see what God saved me from. We don't see any of that because we live in a world that we try to hold on and maintain our aesthetic. You'll hold on to the house even though you can't really afford it. Even though cleaning up and all that, like it's just like you tried to go big, but you really are more of a townhome-ish, maybe even like a condo, maybe that's more up your alley, but you went bigger because you know that's the world that we live in, and you wanted that title because you know that's why you got the degree, and you want to pay off student loans maybe or some other debt, and so you went bigger on all these things. And sometimes success in this world is that you maintain all of it, and that you possibly get more. When sometimes God allows certain things to crumble for your good. We're going to take a lesson from Job. We're reading today. Job, I'm going to read from chapter 1, starting from the first verse. I read from the NLT version. Listen to what I'm about to tell you, because it's going to free you. I know it is. God told me. Okay, great. There once was a man named Job who lived in the land of Uz. He was blameless, a man of complete integrity. He feared God and stayed away from evil. 2, he had 7 sons and 3 daughters. 3, he owned 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 teams of oxen, and 500 female donkeys. Pause. So he was rich. Okay, great. Continue. He also had many servants. He was, in fact, the richest person in that entire area. 4, Job's sons would take turns preparing feasts in their homes, and they would also invite their 3 sisters to celebrate with them. 5, when these celebrations ended, sometimes after several days, Job would purify his children. He would get up early in the morning and offer a burnt offering for each of them. For Job said to himself, perhaps my children have sinned and have cursed God in their hearts. This was Job's regular practice. Now, according to the world we live in, okay, Job, we see you. He's getting the bag. He got the kids. He's the richest in the area. Job is that man. But Job don't got no peace. Bible says he has 7 sons, 3 daughters. That's, let me see, put up your fingers. 7, okay, great. Plus 1, 2, 3. That's 10 kids that he has to have a constant, regular state of worry. How do we know he's worried? Because he already assumed whatever they're doing at them parties is not glorifying God. And so the last thing he want to do is have it where one of his children could possibly be in wrong standing with God, could perish, whatever the case may be. So he took the responsibility of getting up early in the morning to purify not 1, not 2, not 3, but 10 people and the lives that they're living. He made it his regular practice because of what they could be practicing. And so in turn, his regular practice, out of all his aesthetic, out of all his richness, he didn't have no peace. Can you imagine starting your day off like that every day? Like, all right, let me go purify these 10 things because of what the kids may have done. Every day, your regular practice, before you even get up to use the bathroom, freshen your own, you got to go ahead and figure out what prayer and what pigeon or what oxen. After a while, sir, you keep that practice up, you're not going to have 5,000 nothing, 500 donkey nothing. You're going to look at it like somebody's going to be like, where are your, didn't you used to have cattle? Like, yeah, but I was sacrificing unto the Lord for them. So you sacrificing something that you built with integrity for people who don't live the same? We do that now. We do that now. We would give our all to whomever. We would forsake the things that God told us that's more important, which is your health, which is your family, which is the things, the ministry that he made you assigned to. We will forsake all of that just to make a regular practice of maintaining what the world says is rich. Are you really rich if you don't have no peace? Are you really rich if you live in a constant state of worry and anxiety? Is that really the richness thereof? No. And not just because it's my opinion. Let's read literally the very last chapter of Job, chapter 42. And we're going to read how God looks at a rich and abundant life. Yeah, because the world would have called the first world or the first life that Job had as rich. But when God destroyed all of that, let's now look at Job 42, verse 12. So the Lord blessed Job in the second half of his life, even more than in the beginning. For now, he had 14,000 sheep, 6,000 camels, 1,000 teams of oxen, 1,000 female donkeys. 13. He also gave Job 7 more sons and 3 more daughters. Skip down to verse 15. In all the land, no women were as lovely as the daughters of Job, and their father put them into his will along with their brothers. 16. Job lived 140 years after that, living to see 4 generations of his children and grandchildren. 17. Then he died, an old man who had a long, full life. What that last sentence say? Then he died, an old man who had lived a long, full life. Even though God blessed him double for his trouble, because that was double the sheep, double the camels, double the teams of oxen, double the female donkeys, same number of sons, same number of daughters. What really made him rich? The fact that he got to live in full. Is it really living in fullness if you are constrained by anything else that looks like, was it even worth it? Even though he was blessed more, clearly if you was the richest in your land at that point, with what you had in the beginning, God doubling it, clearly you are now the richest again in your area. But it's something about the way that God sees riches that we don't. Now Job don't have to wake up every day and sacrifice for children that may be living not only a sinful life or degrading to God, but that's embarrassing. The Bible described Job as having integrity. So outside of what God may be viewing, it's embarrassing to be like, we saw your daughter. You understand? To live in such a astute life with integrity and all of that, and to know you got 10 others that's not doing that, that people may know about. They know that them is your kids because about how they be wilding, okay, great. And not only that, you can purify them in God's eyes, but people remember what people did. You will always be the girl who used to wild out in high school. It's just the way people remember. Oh, the dude who used to in the neighborhood. That's just the way people remember. And so take this as your sign, your reminder that when something is breaking, it's not to break you, it's to free you. He don't want you at that job, in that position, if it's going to steal all that peace from you. You're not good with those politics and the leadership characteristics, and there's just certain things that you like. I ain't gonna hold you. I much rather be doing maybe a demoted situation. What would the people say? No, what would your chapter of life say? If your life was literally in the Bible, what would your chapter read? That was just your regular practice of getting up, drinking the coffee, doing getting the headaches, and your body's responding to the fact that you can no longer ascertain this thing, but you have to keep the aesthetic up because what would people say if you went somewhere else? What would people say if you didn't make it to retirement? What would people say if your business only made this amount? And you are literally making it your regular practice to wake up and panic and practice a life that don't bring you joy. You like that? No, that's not what Jesus died for you. That's not what Calvary was for. I'm sorry. He said, I came to give you life and life more abundantly. Yeah, you could be rich and be poor in your soul. You could be rich in dollar amount, but be poor in relationships, poor in sleep, poor in wealth, poor in health. It's like, yeah, wealth is just not having the money. It's knowing what to do with it. Because in my opinion, Job should have went ahead and assigned a servant per child to get them right back with God. Because if that was going to be, that's something else. If it's going to be your practice, don't make it your burden. If it's something that's bothering you, be like, okay, God, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign them some spiritual guides or whatever I can do that's in right standing with you so that this doesn't become my burden. Why got to become your practice? You're not living that life. Because if you're going to take on the burden, might as well take on the lifestyle. Some things are destroyed to free you, to give you peace. The Bible says in Romans 8:28, it all works together for your good. Stop looking at the things that are shattering and actually look back and say, God, are you trying to make a mosaic piece of this situation? Are you trying to bring forth art in this situation? What is God trying to destroy? And bigger than that, are you brave enough to let him do it? Because it's not destruction if God is doing it. It's reconstruction if he's ahead of it. Honesty. You understand? All right, I feel like you got what you needed. This is your sign. This is the thing you've been praying for. Send this video to whomever because you're like, ooh, such and such need it, and does. But did you go ahead and like this video? Subscribe to the channel. Do the YouTube stuff. Comment. Let me know. Oh, sis, you was reading my mail. It's okay. I don't have your address. It's spiritual. It's okay. God tells me to say it and I go ahead and I say it. Okay, great. But you know she has a podcast and does. Strive, the letter N as in Nancy, Inspire, on everywhere that you can listen to something. Find it. She there. Okay, great. Strive and Inspire. And these videos, when do we do them? Good job. Every Thursday. Okay, paid attention. So we will talk again next Thursday to be exact, right? We will. So I'm going to go ahead and let me go. We talk later. Later.